So for the next topic is about the action plan. Basically, what is an action plan? So it states what actions are going to be taken and by whom or who's going to do this action, during what time frame and with what expected result. So meaning an action plan is a document that lays out the steps that must be taken to accomplish a particular target, and aim is to explain what resources are needed to achieve the goal and creating a schedule for when specific task must be accomplished, or the start date and the end date. And how about an action planning? Well, action planning is the process of turning your strategy and goals into action. This is where you take your ideas and plans and on how to make them a reality. In other words, action planning is working out what exactly you need to do to where you want to be. So this includes first, specific actions to be taken to make the program operational. So what are those actions? Companies have to list all down these actions chronologically or connected to each other. So what comes first and what would be the last action? Second, dates to begin and end each action. So there should be a start and an end in an action so that it is easier to measure the progress. And for the next one, the person responsible for carrying out each action. This person is the one who is assigned to do the action. For example, I was assigned to do the auditing, while Ms. Alvarez is assigned to do the analyzing. And next, the person responsible for monitoring the timeliness and effectiveness of each action. So from the word itself, it means there is one person to check or monitor the effectiveness of each person assigned in a specific action. And for next, expected financial and physical consequence of each action. So, of course, these actions may mga kaakibat na cost, and also you have to use yourself physically. And the next one is contingency plans. So this is a plan that is made for dealing with an emergency or with something that might possibly happen and cause cause problems in the future. And now, what is the importance of an action plan? First, it serves as a link between strategy, formulation, evaluation, and control. Meaning, it helps to determine the effectiveness of a given strategy in achieving the organizational objectives and taking corrective action. Next, specifies what needs to be done differently from current operations. From the word itself again, it specifies what needs to be done so that everyone will be productive by not doing unnecessary things. Next, helps in both the appraisal of performance and in the identification of any remedial actions. Just like what I said, having an action plan makes every action to be productive, and that will help the growth of the company. And lastly, explicit assignment of responsibilities for implementing and monitoring the programs may contribute to better motivation. Now, let's proceed to an example of an action plan. So, this is an example of an action plan. It composes program objectives, a list of the activities of the program, the actions that will be taken or the steps, the responsibility or the person who is assigned to do the task, and the date, which means when to start and to end. Basically, there is no specific format of the action plan. As long as you can see the main parts of it, you can also make it. I have here also another example. Just like this, I have here our action plan for our Strama paper. It's very different, but you can see that it have the same parts, and it really depends on what objectives you need to accomplish. Now, for the management by objectives. Management objectives encourages participative decision making through shared goal setting and performance assessment based on achieving stated objectives. So, management by objectives kasi is a strategic management model that aims to improve organizational performance by clearly defining objectives that are agreed to by both management and employees. So, this process involves establishing and communicating organizational objectives. This is where the management determines the organizational objectives of the entire company. So basically, this objective should be derived from the firm's mission and vision, and then translate it to the employees. Next, setting individual objectives. After the organization's objectives are shared with employees, of course, employees should be encouraged to help set their own objectives to achieve these larger organizational objectives. And this gives employees greater motivation since they have greater empowerment. Third, developing an action plan to achieve objectives. So, in process 1, the key component of the objectives was that they are measurable in order for employees and managers to determine how well they are met. So in this third process, it involves monitoring the progress of employees. Lastly, periodically or at least quarterly reviewing performance. This is where the evaluation and rewarding of employees' progress. This process includes honest feedback on what was achieved and not achieved for each employee. And that's it.